Hey guys, it's Taylor. Whoa, back with Taylor, and today we're going to be reading Best of Redditor Update. So let's get into it. Grab your blanket, your back support, your stuffed animals. Let's read. No way! Oh my god, I'm so dumb. There's an update to one of the last things that I did. One of the last stories I read. I started shaking hands with the doorman and now I want to stop, but I just can't. So when I first got this job, dream job by the way, they sent me to this tiny little town. The office is small, everyone knows everyone, people are super chatty. I was really happy and wanted to make a good impression. Day 1, I meet the doorman. I shake their hands, smile, chat a little, all good. Day 2, I shake their hands again. Day 3, same thing. This started in October 2024. Fast forward to now, and I've been shaking their hands literally every single day for almost a year. At this point, I'm like a sacred ritual. The second they see me coming, they're already holding their hands out, and I just cannot do it because that would feel rude. I've trapped myself. I'm officially the guy who has to shake hands every day. And it's not like I would dislike them. They're awesome guys, super friendly. Sometimes I even bring them cookies and Coke, and they're really happy. It's just I'm tired of the whole daily handshake thing. All I want now is to walk in, say good morning, and move on. Only good morning. I created a monster. I don't know how to stop. This is interesting. I don't know how you would go about stopping shaking hands for almost every single day of the year. Anyways, update. I got a ton of suggestions. Some people said to slowly wean them off. Others suggested switching to different greeting. But the best advice I got was simply just talk to them about it. Communication is key. So today I showed up, shook their hands, and asked straight up if it bothered them, if I was being annoying. To my surprise, they were like, not at all, sir. We actually think it's nice. Annoying is when people just walk by and pretend we don't exist. Around here, we all greet each other like that. Then I stuck around for a bit, and we chatted about a crime that happened in the town, about the weather, about usual small talk. Now I feel relieved. I don't think I'm bothering them anymore. And even if one of them did secretly find the whole thing annoying, at least they know I mean it in good faith. Just as a friendly work thing, and they'll probably feel more comfortable about it. One last note, technically my position outranks theirs by a lot, so maybe that's why they wouldn't just come out and say, yes sir, we hate it, please stop. But at least they know I'm not trying to hassle them. Yeah. Next. Would I be the asshole if I told my ex that his new girlfriend told me to back the fuck off already? No, probably not. Hiya there, I'm a bit of a pickle, but I don't know what they hear. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop that stupid voice. A few days ago, my 30 female, ex's 32 male, new girlfriend, what the fuck? Okay, OP's 30, X is 32, new girlfriend is 7. Texted me out of the blue and told me first politely, then not so much, to back the fuck off and not contact my ex anymore. Cause apparently it's disrespectful and I should be over it by now. Some context here. My ex and I broke up roughly 6 years ago, but we are still friends. Why? Cause we don't have a reason not to. Our breakup wasn't a dramatic one. Just two people who'd been together since their late teens realizing that they wanted different things in life. But since we still got along great and he had his daughter, my niece, who I basically helped raise, we decided to stay friends. The reason his girlfriend's message surprised me so much as it did is that A, it really came out of the blue. I didn't even know she had my number. And B, she has absolutely zero reason to be suspicious or anything. I got water and a snack. My ex and I still hang out, yes, but always with either my niece or my friends. And on occasion, we go to school events for my niece, like when she has a performance or something. I genuinely don't think I've done anything with him one-on-one since before our breakup, I think. The most one-on-one he and I have ever do is when he drops off or picks up my niece. She has a room at my place, in case that matters, and we wait for her to get her things, but that's all. Also, his girlfriend and I have met before at my niece's and then my ex's birthday, and she was nice both times. We didn't talk much, just regular, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. That's a lovely dress. Bye. So I didn't think she had any issues with me. On top of that, I'm dating someone new too. So yeah, I'm not sure what her deal is at all, and when she texted me, my arse was halfway to giving my ex a ring and telling him to maybe have a chat with his girlfriend, because something is definitely wrong, but another part of me really doesn't want to interfere with his relationship like that. My ex is a good dude, and from what my niece told me, and from what I've seen at the 2 birthdays, he really adores her. He genuinely gets puppy eyes when he looks at her, which that stoic arse man never does. He deserves to be this happy. He really does. And most importantly, my niece likes her too. That wasn't the case with the 2 other girlfriends he'd had since we broke up. So this is a huge issue I need to consider too. Telling him would put all this in jeopardy, but like, what else am I supposed to do? I'm defo not going to cut contact with either my niece or my ex just because she wants me to. No fucking way. But she was rather insistent on the matter, so I don't think she'll leave it alone either. My flatmate is team tell him and get it over with, but she's with love, a bit of a prick, so I'm hesitant to take her word on anything. Commenter 1 says he deserves to know if his girlfriend is talking to his friends like that or making accusations of flirting with him. Yeah, tell him, girl, tell him. Hi again, I thought I'd give you a little update in case you were interested. This is a day later. First, I did end up calling my ex after I came back from work last night. I was insanely nervous because I still felt, and still do, bad about rocking the boat. But yeah, you guys were right. It should be his decision if he wants to cut me off, not his girlfriend's. Now, after some regular chatter, I went in and told him what happened and even read him some of the messages his girlfriend had sent me. He didn't say much, as I did, not that I expected him to. The man has a daily average of 15 words, 25 if he's feeling very chatty, and mostly just listened quietly. I couldn't gauge his reaction, so I kind of ended up rambling and mentioning some of the things you guys had advised me to do, and know how he can step back if that's what he needs. I'd respect his decision on that, but how I'd appreciate it if we could keep my niece out of it and all that. The latter part is kind of where he spoke up, mostly to snort, "You idiot," and then he told me he already knew what she texted me because my boyfriend told him. They're friends and coworkers. My boyfriend apparently noticed that I was more upset than I wanted to let on and asked my ex to call me because something happened between her and your ex's girlfriend. And your girlfriend. Which makes sense, by the way. I've asked my boyfriend if my behavior with my ex was ever uncomfortable or inappropriate after the girlfriend texted me, just to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong without being aware of it. And I have been stewing over this mess for nigh a week, so yeah. Not surprised my boyfriend noticed something was up. My ex chose to wait until I said something myself before breaching the topic, though. My boyfriend didn't tell him what exactly happened, but my ex sort of figured it out. It was something like her telling me to cut contact. He then once again told me that I am an idiot and I should have told him immediately because this wasn't on. The 2 of them, so he and his girlfriend, talked about this before, even before they officially got together, and he'd made it very clear that there was no way in hell he'd be cutting me off because I've been his friend before I was his girlfriend, and I've stayed his friend for long after that, and because I'm basically my niece's mom, or the closest thing she has to a mom. So, before they start dating, he told her that she'd have to be cool with that. He'd understand if she wasn't, but he'd not change his mind because I'd done the legwork and she hasn't. Now, according to him, she was absolutely fine with it and even told him that she really liked me and wanted to know more about after the birthdays I'd mentioned prior, so he doesn't know what has gotten into her. I asked him if she mentioned something else at a latter time, like that something I did or said or uncomfortable that made her uncomfortable or feel insecure, but he said no. She also didn't hint at anything. And yes, I asked multiple times with examples just to make sure, because respectfully, my ex isn't great at taking hints at all. His brain is wired strictly forward, so anything slightly obscure does not ring any bells in his wee head. As we chatted on, still trying to work out what could have ticked her off, he suddenly got really quiet. And I was like, dude, you there? And then he said he may have an idea what did it for her. He didn't tell me what, because he said it's a conversation he'd have with her first, so I didn't ask further. He did assure me that it was nothing I did, though. We pretty much left it at that, and he told me he'd have a chat with her and see what's up, and depending on what it is, he'd let me know. So, now we wait. Anyway, thanks for the advice you guys gave me, and for telling me to just get it over with. I genuinely don't think I would have done it otherwise. If I hear anything interesting, I'll let you guys know, but until then, I think this is it. Thanks. Edit/more info. I think a lot of people are confused by my niece being my niece and also my ex's kid. Sorry, I should have reiterated that before things got muddled. A short stack of facts. My ex, 32 male, is a teen dad. He had my niece while he was still in the equivalent of high school. He and I, 30, got together roughly a year after she was born, but he only introduced me to her when she was 2.5. Since I was still pretty young then, I wasn't super comfortable with being called mom, so my niece ended up calling me auntie, my name. This stuck, and she still calls me aunt today, and I call her niece, but we're not related by blood. Her bio mom is not and has never been in the picture. I did all the mom things, from potty training to seeing most of her first, to going to her parent-teacher conferences and whatnot. This is what my ex says. Well, this is why my ex says I'm the closest thing she had to a mother. And to finish it up, my ex and I didn't break break up recently. We broke up 6 years ago because we wanted different things in life. We stayed in contact because we've always been friends, and first and most importantly, because of my niece. These days, my niece comes over to stay with me at least every other week, sometimes more, sometimes less, because my ex and I are both chill with choosing for herself. She has her own room at my place. Commenter 1 says, sounds like your ex has a solid understanding of your role in his and your niece's life, which is great. His girlfriend's behavior is still a bit odd though, especially since she apparently liked you before. Glad you were able to clear the air. There's one more update. This was just posted a week ago. 7 days, girl. But yeah, her behavior is definitely seeming sus. Final update. Hello, everybody. I would like to start off by saying something like, I don't know if anyone remembers me, but you've all been very vocal in my inbox this past month, so I'm going to assume that yes, some of you do. This has all got much more attention than I ever expected, so I'm honestly quite nervous to even update this because I just know the result really isn't what most of you wanted or were hoping for, but my boyfriend and my flatmate were having a field day with all your comments and messages. They asked me to say thanks to the person that came up with the bio-mom amnesia car accident theory. I don't know either. I stopped reading comments eventually, but they really enjoyed that one, so the two of them were basically bullying me into this. I'm not really sure where to start, so I'll just go by what I was asked the most, I guess. Before I kind of feel the need to clarify, I don't call my ex IRL. I call him by his name, right? I got multiple messages asking me to call him that since we're more than that at this point, so just to make that clear, I call him by his first name. Okay, now first things first. We're all fine. My niece is fine. My ex and his girlfriend are kind of fine, and I'm grand as well. Thanks for checking in and even sending those Reddit care thingies. You know what I mean. Then a lot of you were asking about my niece and if we ever found anything that was bothering her, and yes, we did. My ex dropped off my niece at my place, and not long after I posted the second update, it was her turn to stay at my place. And she was still in a shitty mood, just like she'd been the entire time, if not a bit worse. So she didn't even stay to say bye to my ex. She just stomped off to her room and holed herself up for the day. My ex asked if I could try and chat with her while she stayed over, because apparently he tried and it didn't go over well. I think we were both kind of on edge because this isn't usually her style, but then again, teens will be teens. Anyway, I told him I'd try and send him on his merry way now. It took me a couple of days to actually get to the chatting. The first few days were really woof. It's like I was sharing my house with a particularly pissed off velociraptor. I basically spent the entire time throwing snacks and wee little trinkets at her, hoping she'll not bite my hands off in the process. But eventually, she cooled off enough, and with some fine needling and enough ice cream to feed an army, I managed to get some answers. Good news, the girlfriend did not talk to her, so lower thy pitchforks, Reddit. The woman is nigh a witch. Bad news, my niece did overhear the girlfriend bad-mouthing me on the phone, like some of you guys guessed. The girlfriend's apparently didn't know that my niece was home. She came home early from school and the girlfriend didn't hear her come in. So I doubt it was on purpose, but it still happened and my niece did not take it well. She'd been in a bad mood anyway, just normal teen struggles, mine including God's help me boy troubles. Does anyone have a handbook on how to handle that? Because I'm not ready. And since my ex took the news like a man going to war, I seriously doubt he's either. And hearing the girlfriend talk shit certainly didn't help. She really didn't want to tell me what exactly the girlfriend said, but it seemed to have been really below the belt. Just going the fact that my niece was angry and crying during the part of our chat. I didn't press her to tell more because it seemed to upset her, but I did ask her to please tell her dad what was said so that she could get it off her chest, which she did. So after, both my ex and I promised that he wouldn't tell me either. I know that's kind of a letdown for some of you, to be honest. I really don't care. If she wants to talk shit, she can. I'm just happy my niece doesn't have to carry that stuff around on her own anymore. Now, as for my ex and his girlfriend, difficult. It took a while longer for that to get resolved. I actually didn't hear anything back until quite recently, and the end result is kind of eh. The short answer is, I was catching strays. That's all. My ex eventually called me and told me that much. He also said that his girlfriend would like to talk to me personally, asked me to hear her out, which is fine. Sure, I'll do that. So they rocked up to my place about a week ago, and we all had tea. Let me tell you, it was off. The girlfriend was really twitchy and nervous the entire time. I think we spent 20 minutes just talking about the weather before she finally managed to cough up an apology. The apology was then followed by 50 more. No matter how often I told her that it was okay and that I was more than content to just move on. She was thankful, but at least she asked if I'd let her explain herself, so I did. And yeah, turns out, well, she didn't really have a reason to come at me, but she did have a reason overall for why she acted the way she did. The first and probably biggest reason I won't tell you, because it goes far beyond me telling you about something I was involved in, or me sitting here like, well, she's being a bit of a, what do I do? But let it be said, something sad happened. It wasn't anybody's fault. Nobody did anything wrong. It was just something tragic that happens to some people that couldn't be avoided. That's all. The second reason was that she apparently had a minor dispute with my ex about kind of me, I guess. So from the two of them told me, the girlfriend texted my ex not long before she messaged me and asked him if we could pick her up from work because she wasn't feeling well. He told her that yes, he would, but it'd take him a while since he was about to drop my niece off at my place. Now, what he meant was the drive will take longer than usual because my name lives at the other side of town. What she took it as was my name is more important than you right now, so you'll have to wait. Honestly, I do not get it either. I wasn't even the reason he was coming over, so I'm not sure why this is how she took it. But okay, fine. It was a state. She was in the state because of the sad thing. Maybe that's just how it felt at the time. The third reason is she kind of feels off like the odd one thing in the exes. And thus partially my friend group, which makes her feel insecure and that be fine and human, but her reason for feeling like the odd one out was apparently that she's straight and most of us are not. The surprise, both my ex and I, because yeah, not most of our friends in fact straight. In my collective friend group, there's just me, my boyfriend, my ex, we're all bi, and one gay chap plus his boyfriend. The rest are straight as hell. Like, I majored in business, have a wife and a dog and 1.5 children type straight. Well, how do you get half of a child? So yeah, we didn't know how she got the idea that she was honestly very rattled once we cleared that up. All of them collided into one big ball of frustration, and frustration was aimed at the easiest target, me. So she snuck into my ex's phone, got my number, and told me to back off. According to her, she immediately regretted it, but didn't know how to fix it until my ex put her on the spot. She also reiterated that she really isn't bothered by me and that she was being truthful when she told my ex that she'd like to get to know me more. I told her that was fine by me. Yes, this is me cutting her some slack. She overreacted and made a mistake. Shit happens. But that she might want to try and talk to my niece before getting that relationship completely evaporated. But when she settled that, I'm down to meeting for coffee or hanging out as a group with my niece or whatever. That is really where we kind of left off. I did ask my ex where his head's at while the girlfriend was off to the loo and how he's feeling. He told me he's not quite sure yet. He does see where she's coming from, and he's happy that she owned up to her mistakes and wanted to apologize and all that. But he's miffed that she just reacted like that in the first place. You know, that she'd rather sneak into his phone and then bitch at me instead of just talking to him. Oh, and he's extremely pissed off about the things she said about me when my niece overheard her, that is. I didn't ask him more than that because we promised my niece, but I did tell him to not let that be his deciding factor, if anything. Apart from that, I didn't pry for more. That is pretty much it, guys. Sorry that I can't deliver the dramatic story filled with big reveals, harsh realizations, and angry breakups. But alas, real life tends to be a bit boring and shit just ends when people have a wee chat over tea. My boyfriend offered to act out a dramatic scene where I break up with him because I realized I'm still in love with my ex. In case anyone is interested, LOL. But unless that's it, that's where we part ways. Thanks for sticking around and for all the advice you've given me. I really didn't expect my little issue would get this much attention. So here's to me never underestimating Reddit again. Have a lovely day/night wherever you are. Commenter 3 says it. She may have been pregnant. That is an insane story. What was it? Am I the arsehole? Am I overreacting? I don't know. Whatever. That's crazy, I feel. Yes, she made a mistake, but if it happens again, girl, no contact. Go no contact. What is this, skin? Anyways, we only did 2. Well, comment down below your thoughts on these stories. While you're down there, click all the buttons. You know what to do. And I hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world viewing this. And peace.